first time I became aware of Jim Chapin was back in 1963-64 when I first started playing drums. I was going through the Rogers drum catalog, and they had a picture of Jim with the Phipps practice set, Frank Eppolito practice pads, which Jim endorsed for years, and of course he played on Rogers drums at the time. I then was reading an article a few years later in the 70s by the drummer. It was an interview with the drummer of the Jefferson Airplane, Spencer Dryden. And before Dryden joined the Airplane to play rock drums, Spencer was actually a jazz drummer. And he also gave lessons. And one day, one of his students came in and says, "Hey, I want to play out of this book right here." Well, we all know what this book is. This is the Advanced Technique for the Modern Drummer, and it's by Jim Chapin. So Spencer looks at it and says, "Oh yeah, this is a good book." And Spencer came up with an excuse that had to end lessons a little bit early that day, and Spencer took the book home, all right, and then practiced it like crazy so that he could be 2 or 3 pages ahead of his student. I also remember seeing Jim's albums, the 33 and the third records, okay, all the different ones that he did, especially the one with him with the orange Sparkle Rogers set. And from time to time I would read articles in Downbeat. I then actually got to meet Jim, I would say the late 70s, early 80s. It was at Long Island Drum Center over in Comac. At the time, Dom Famularo was teaching there, and Jim. And I just recently got a drum that I was having a problem with, and I went to get it, change the drum heads, and I got talking to Jim. And we discussed all kinds of things, from Dom getting an endorsement because all the clinics that he was doing, right down to the fact that, some of the one of the prominent drum companies of the era at that time, Jim said that all their snare drums sounded like the boxes that they came in. All right? On Jim's CD here, More Songs, Solos, and Stories, the first thing is called King or Plumber. And Jim says, Jim, who's going to play like you? You're the greatest. Then he goes, Jim, maybe you should have become a plumber or a used car dealer. This is not for you. And with Jim's charismatic personality and everything, we all would have become plumbers. And this would have been Advanced Techniques for the Modern Plumber, Coordinated Independence as Applied to a Torch and Solder. Jim, we thank you for everything that you taught us, and we won't forget you, and I'm sure you're practicing where you are right now, Jim. Thank you.